This is the signal. What you're about to hear is not what they reported. 4 missile salvos struck Tel Aviv, 40 minutes, not 1 launch, not 2, 4. 4 coordinated waves, back to back, designed to do one thing: drain every interceptor battery in central Israel before the final warhead arrived. This was not random fire. This was pressure, timed, layered, built to wear down the shield before the real blow landed. Urgent and connected. Israeli Army radio confirmed explosions across the city, sirens, civilians running, entire neighborhoods, confusion in minutes. Authorities reported injuries, no deaths. And that detail is the point. This was not about casualties. This was a demonstration, a test of how fast a modern air defense system breaks when the attack is built to break it. In parts of the city, warning systems failed completely. 0 seconds to react. A warhead carrying roughly 100 kilograms of high explosive detonated between apartment buildings in central Tel Aviv. 6 people pulled from 4 separate blast sites. Rescue crews searching a collapsed residential block. Now, the weapon that changed this war. The Fattah 2, a 2-stage solid-fuel ballistic missile, 18 meters tall, 23 tons at launch. It delivers a 700-kilogram warhead to targets 2,000 kilometers away. Every square meter of Israeli territory falls inside that envelope. Here is what air defense planners will not say publicly. Liquid fuel missiles sit exposed for minutes while crews pump propellant. That window is when you kill them on the ground. Solid fuel removes that window. It rolls out, it fires, it's already gone. And it doesn't fly straight. Analysts call it the dancing missile. Its flight path shifts during re-entry, specifically designed to defeat Israel's Arrow 3 and David's Sling tracking algorithms. The shield was built for a different missile. This is Wave 80 in 26 days. Not 80 missiles, 80 separate waves. Now, here is the number that changes everything. 1 Iranian ballistic missile costs $300,000 to build. 1 Arrow 3 interceptor costs $3 million to fire. 1 THAAD interceptor, $13 million per shot. Israel is spending between 4 and 26 times more to defend each engagement than Iran spends to attack it. The combined interception rate sits at 92%. That sounds like a victory, until you count the 8% that land. Iran has fired around 440 ballistic missiles since February 28th. 8% of 440 is 35 warheads. 35 unintercepted impacts across 26 days on apartment buildings, schools, construction sites. The United States burned through roughly 14% of its entire THAAD stockpile in the first 2 weeks alone. Current production, 12 THAAD interceptors per year. Replenishing what was consumed in 14 days would take between 3 and 8 years. And while the world counted warheads, Iran hit something else. The Orot Rabin power station, 45 kilometers north of Tel Aviv, 20% of the entire country's electricity through one location. Entire neighborhoods, complete darkness. Iran's energy minister said Israel's production is, in his words, centralized and very vulnerable. The IRGC made it doctrine. If you hit electricity, we hit electricity. On March 24th, the IRGC declared Israeli civilian shelters legitimate military targets. David's Sling was activated. David's Sling missed. 180 people paid for that failure. On March 1st, an Iranian missile punched through 2 interceptors and struck a communal shelter 18 miles from Jerusalem. 9 civilians died. That single event remains the deadliest strike of this war. A senior Israeli brigadier general described the system's capability against cluster warheads with 3 words: better than nothing. That is not confidence. That is a system being asked to do more than it was designed to handle. Before the first strike, Brent crude traded at $72 per barrel. It is now swinging between 100 and 110. The International Energy Agency called this the largest supply disruption in the history of the global oil market. Gulf oil production dropped by at least 10 million barrels per day. The IEA released emergency reserves. The United States committed 172 million barrels. Prices barely moved. 80 waves, 26 days. The country declared militarily dead on Wednesday morning, launched its 80th wave of ballistic missiles by Wednesday night. The question is not who is winning. The question is what happens when the side spending $3 million per interception runs out of interceptors before the side spending $300,000 per missile runs out of missiles. This is the signal. If this reached you, send it to one person who needs to hear it.